I really appreciate how throughout the book you are insistent that we shouldn't just give in to the hysteria of the world and the hysteria of, like right, left, everybody's hysterical about this particular topic. And we as Christians have solid footing that should prevent us from falling into that hysteria. And you talk about this sort of, critical theory, critical race theory, worldview, and the Christian worldview. And if these folks over here, the secular critical race theorists, were to respectfully consider the Christian worldview, theirs would fall apart or be really threatened by our worldview. But if Christians in our worldview just seriously or respectfully consider the concerns that gave rise to CRT, our worldview can withstand that without crumbling. And talk a little bit about why that is. What it is about the biblical or Christian worldview that allows us to, in a heartfelt way, consider something like the underpinnings of CRT.
Well, because my feet are planted firmly on the ground. I say anybody who's grounded in the scriptures is grounded in another world, right? Like this is not my home. I'm an alien and a stranger here. This is not ultimately my world. I've got a different kingdom in mind that's got a different ethic, that has a different king, that has different expectations for what human relationships should look like, that has different expectations for how power up will actually be used to serve people instead of to serve myself, right? It's the upside down kingdom. And so I've signed up for a completely different way of doing life that I think, and again, Eric, this is the question. Is it true that one day every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus is Lord? I mean, that's the question ultimately that hovers over all of our lives all the time, right? Yeah. We have to make a decision about what we think about that. I am saying yes to that. I believe that Jesus is the beginning and the end of everything in history. And so there's a security that comes from being tied into him. Now, again, there's a lot of messy church stuff up underneath that and around that, right? That's the whole point of your podcast even existing, to talk about all that messiness. But Jesus himself gives me he's an anchor of the soul. He's a secure foundation that gives me the categories to think in. And like I said, helps me know how to relate to God, how to relate to others, and how to relate to myself in a way that reflects true reality. Okay. Wow. I've never said that all quite like that.
That was good.
On the other side, again, and having been with my progressive friends, they got their feet, as G.K. Chesterton said a long time ago, they've got both feet planted firmly in the air. So they really don't. They don't even know what they would really, they know that they know that they don't like people being abused. They know that they want to take care of marginalized and watching out for people that are kind of in the lower or, the underclasses, as you think in terms of class. But if they were to get power, I used to ask my friends this all the time, what will you do with it? What will you do to make sure that the people that you've replaced don't wind up being the ones that start being oppressed?
Yeah.
And they don't have a way because there's no foundation. There is no anchor. There is no kingdom worldview script being given to them. All they're going to do is become everything that they hated in the first place. And that's why they need Jesus.
As we all do.
Yeah. If Jesus really is the answer that we just talked about, then he's really what you're looking for. And until you find him, this quest to find your version of justice and the quest to help oppressed peoples and whatnot, however noble it may look on the surface, at the end of the day, it's demonic. Because whatever spirit does not lift up Jesus as Lord is ultimately coming from a satanic place.